You know, Stephanie, we hear a lot about long-term care and short-term care insurance. What is it? How does it work?
So long-term care insurance is designed to pay for nursing home care, assisted living, and home health care. So it's what Medicare doesn't cover, but it's the things that just happen to us as we age. Long-term care is designed to pay for that. And so an example, someone taking care of their spouse, if they need help getting out of bed in the mornings, getting to the bathroom, that there's some fall risks or issues and they need help getting to the couch. And then they also need someone to help prepare their meals or make sure they take medicine, or even just be with them all the time so that they don't get confused or lost or whatever it might be in case if they have dementia or something. Those are the things that long-term care insurance is designed to cover. When you're buying a plan like that, and these are really common, financial advisors like to offer long-term care plans, and if you've ever looked into it, you know they can be costly, but the way that they work is that you're buying a pool of money. Okay. Now it's designed, so let's say that you're getting $5,000 a month for 3 years. If you don't use that whole $5,000, you're going to have more than 3 years of coverage. But that's the base of how the policy is designed.
Okay, well, what's the difference between short-term care and long-term care?
Short-term care is definitely a good alternative. And part of the reason is because it's less expensive than long-term care. It's also much easier to qualify for. Because if you have any kind of health issue at all, if you have diabetes even with some complications, or if you've had any kind of cancer or heart issues or anything throughout the past 10 years of your life, you may not qualify for long-term care. But with short-term care, you might be able to get it anyway. Now the big difference though is that short-term care plans work for about 1 year of coverage. They're really geared more toward home health care. It does cover assisted living and nursing home, just like long-term, but they're geared toward people who are caring for spouses and family members at home. It's going to cover for home care, basically for up to 1 year. Now again, if you're not using your full maximum every day or every month, it's going to last longer than that.
Well, is short-term care better than long-term care? I mean, how do I know which one plan would be right for my parent or for me?
So neither one of them are better than the other. Long-term care is more robust. If you have family history of Alzheimer's or things like that, and your family has been in nursing homes, you may want that full long-term care policy, something that covers longer. But if your plan is to stay at home with your family, and you are just looking for something to give them a break or to help them a little bit, short-term care is a really good option. Especially if you have any health issues at all, short-term care is a better way to go.
So I'm not going to sacrifice any kind of care or any kind of attention by having a short-term care plan and being at home. I might kind of like that a little bit better because I'm in a familiar environment.
Yes, absolutely. And the care is the same. Nursing homes, assisted living, they like that you have some type of plan. So it does not matter to them if it's long-term or short-term, but you have something that's going to help in addition to Medicare.
I understand. Now, do you have an example? Tell us a story about how this is short-term care maybe it benefited a little bit different than long-term care.
So I have a particular client I've been working with for 5 or 6 years, and they came to me to get Medicare. So of course they're calling now for, well, what does my plan cover now that my husband needs care? But he's had dementia for a long time, and she was able to take care of him at home. And she does take him, in and out of bed, and she takes him to the living room, and she sits with him and makes sure that he is cared for. Because when they met me, he already had dementia, we were not able to put any kind of plan in place. But if we had been, a short-term care plan would have worked perfectly for them. Because it would cover now someone to come in maybe 4 or 5 hours a couple times a week. It would help her give him a shower. It would give her a break so that she could go out, have lunch with the kids, run the errands, whatever it is, so that she's just not trapped in the house all the time as well. Short-term care plans work really well for that. And she is absolutely going to keep him home as long as she possibly can, like most of us would.
Right.
So that those plans work well.
So would you say that a short-term care plan really offers a lot more flexibility and benefit to the caregiver as opposed to a facility?
Yes. It allows you to keep your spouse at home at a more affordable cost.
So there is just as great a way to be able to afford those kind of options without busting up all the nest eggs and everything that you've had accumulated over time.
Yes. Yes. If you don't want to spend $600 or $1,000, $600 or $800 a month on long-term care insurance, short-term care is definitely a better option, and you don't have to interrupt all of your other investments. Yes.
So Stephanie, this really sounds like it can be complicated, even though there are a couple different options to be able to help in situations like this in terms of alternatives to long-term care. If someone has questions, and I'm sure they have questions that they don't even know that they have, but if there's interest, what are some first steps to be able to find or to be able to identify what might be right for them?
It is very complicated, and you have more alternatives than just short-term care. So it's really important to talk to someone who specializes in long-term care planning, and a lot of times Medicare agents will specialize in that as well. But talk to someone who knows about long-term care.
All right.